Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We're very excited for those of us who've joined us on Zoom, as well as on Facebook Live and everywhere else, wherever you're tuning from. Welcome. Yes, the chat is muted, but I will turn it on shortly. So welcome, everyone, to the Noetic Kickoff. Most of you guys, I'm sure, must know me. For those who don't, my name is Zubin. I am with Think Academy, and I work as an advanced education specialist. And today we will be beginning our Noetic Kickoff, their competition 2022. What is Noetic? Why Noetic? How to sign up? The Think Academy Noetic plan, and a bunch of questions that you guys might have. All of that will be covered today. Before we do, what grade is your child in? The poll is launched right now, so would appreciate you guys answering that question, so we can have all the material related to those grades prepared accordingly. Okay, I see a lot of grade 4 and grade 3. Actually, it's pretty evenly distributed. Nice. Okay, we'll leave that poll up for another 30 seconds. Also, you can scroll down in the poll. There's going to be options for more than just grade 6. Okay, nice. Very good. A little bit of each grade. Except grade K, obviously. Okay, so let's begin with why the Noetic Math Competition. As most of you know, the significance of math competitions, especially at elementary level, is incredible, right? Not just in terms of a competitive perspective for schooling, for academics, but also because, well, you can take the prep into your own hands, right? For most of you guys who attended our webinars before, one of the main things we point out is that in the typical American core curriculum per se, at public school level, even the top public schools, there is a huge gap between elementary and middle school, and math competitions is a fascinating way to bridge that gap because, well, it's one of those avenues that truly, instills within the students a sense of passion, because it's not just your typical theory-based math. It's a lot of fun questions that often can also lead to your passion cultivation, right? So it can cultivate interest, develop thinking, and exercise ability. And of course, which I always emphasize with parents, is it's going to build a lot of character as well. Students at an early age are going to learn how to deal with wins, losses, how to improve, what to improve in, hard work. These are all great skills to have at an elementary level, especially, right? So should all students participate? A resounding yes. Whether you're doing it from a competitive standpoint, do it. Very good. Whether you're doing it so that students can enjoy math, start to have some interest in it, absolutely. Whether it's the first one or the latter, both are served by math competitions. Both are great avenues and great ways to look at competitions. And each competition at each grade level, the ones we recommend are as follows. We have shown this before as well. For grade 1 and 2, that would be Math Kangaroo and Noetic. For grade 3, Math Kangaroo, Math League, and Noetic. For grade 4, as you can see, there's a bunch of other competitions. As you go higher in, besides grade, as you go higher from grade 4 onwards, there's a lot of other competitions like AMC 8 that become a little bit more important. But especially from grade 1 through 4, Noetic is amazing. Why? Because it's highly organized, it's focused on the fundamentals, and it enriches problem-solving ability. So the three main takeaways, if there's anything you can take from why Noetic, would be that it is challenging, but it is foundational. So it provides an adequate amount of challenge. It's not a cakewalk, but the focus is on the fundamentals. So it serves as a great stepping stone because it's not the most difficult. If you say compared to a Math Kangaroo, it is not at that level, but still has a lot of challenge. It's still ahead of the private school core curriculum. And this is great for parents who are, say, new to all of this, right? Or a year in and think that there was a step that they missed on before they took on all these challenging competitions like Math Kangaroo and so on. So this is great for you guys. And everyone can participate. It is one of the largest officiated competitions available, grades 2 all the way through grade 8. Over 26,000 students had participated, over 550 schools in this national contest. And finally, my favorite, awards, and more awards. Noetic is grounded in a theme of math as a celebration, not a competition. And that means that you have numerous awards available for each grade level. About 50% of the participants can get awarded. So that's wonderful, right? It's a great opportunity for students to build a sense of confidence. And, you know, even if they're not doing the best, it's certainly one of those that can instill in them that, hey, I can do this. I'm doing well in this. So it is amazing as a stepping stone. And what is Noetic? When you get into the nitty-gritty parts of the competition, it is, in terms of the testing logistics, for grades 2 through 8. The time for on-site is 45 minutes. For online, it is 50 minutes. However, do take into account that according to Noetic, this will be the last year for online. But according to the world, this would be the last year for online as well, and that keeps changing, so you never know. And the length is 20 problems. The registration deadline is March 17th. This is very important. Please note that down if you're interested in the competition. The test itself, if you're doing online, which is what Think Academy will be officiating for, is from April 7th all the way to April 21st. So you have a testing window where you can take it within those dates. And the awards for all of this, the most exciting part, you have ranks by grades and teams. You have the team winner medal, the National Honor Roll medal, which is the top 10% of the students in each grade. Remember, even though there's a bunch of grades, it doesn't mean you're competing against each other. Each grade is having their own test. So the top 10% will get the National Honor Roll medal. The certificates is the team winner certificate, National Honor Roll certificate, honorable mention certificate, which is the top 50% of the students in each grade. Everyone gets a participation certificate. So it's quite celebratory in nature, right? As I said, it is grounded in a theme of celebration, not as a rat race of sorts. The topics that Noetic covers, now this is quite interesting because some of these you might have seen before, but some do have a very unique take in Noetic. So in terms of each grade, if we take a deep dive into one of them, to each of them, sorry, grade through 8, as you can see over here, if we compare it to the level of difficulty versus a Math Kangaroo, which I'm assuming a lot of you guys are familiar with, for those who are not, it is a little bit more challenging. And I will explain the level of depth to which Noetic goes into. If you're not aware of Math Kangaroo, don't worry. You will be clear on that in the next part of this. For those who have looked at MK before, as you can see, broadly speaking, grades 2 through 4, so grade 2, 3, and 4. The level of difficulty for Noetic is comparable to, say, the 3 to 4 pointers of MK. And at Think Academy itself, in our grade, in our curriculum, as you can see in grade 2, the stuff that Noetic covers, we cover in K through grade 1. In grade 3, we cover in grade 1 to 2. So roughly a year to 2 years ahead is the Think Academy curriculum. Now, this is not to say that Noetic is easy. It just means that at the Academy, that is what we're at. So for all the parents who are with the Academy, who are participating today, this is just to give you a sense of how much has already been taught and how much are you eligible to compete in without really doing any prep. Not doing any prep per se, but doing any external prep without the Academy. So what is very important to note is that even though it is a little bit less difficult than, say, a Math Kangaroo, and it would essentially remove all the 5-pointers, right? There are some very unique modules. For example, grade 2, 3, and 4, the most difficult will be numbers and operations. They have a very unique way of posing these questions, often are even more visual than Math Kangaroo, often are even more innovative than MK. In fact, I would say it's one of the most innovative competitions. These are questions that are quite unique, and each year they somehow come up with a way of posing different kinds of questions. Numbers and operations is great, especially at an elementary stage, because these are your fundamentals, right? And they're taught in so many different ways in Noetic that it is truly wonderful. So grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4, it is a must attend competition. Noetic is hands down one of the most important ones for elementary school. Grade 5 through grade 7, this is not to say that you guys cannot attend it. It is also great for higher grades, because especially if you're looking at other competitions like AMC 8, which are more prevalent, Noetic does serve as, say, the building blocks towards those more accredited competitions, especially when you look at certain modules like counting and number theory. They have very, very innovative questions in Noetic. So if you do prepare for it, it is going to serve you well, not just for Noetic, but also for other competitions. For grade 2, 3, and grade 4, it is a must attend. I would highly recommend this one. Let's look at some more similarities and differences between Noetic and Math Kangaroo. Noetic, there's an emphasis on word problems and logical reasoning. Math Kangaroo, it's a similar emphasis, but a little bit more in-depth for geometry. The level of geometry in Noetic is very base. It only relies on properties, basic school level math, so it's not that challenging. So Math Kangaroo does have that in its stock as well. In Noetic, the math is skewed towards building, say, good problem-solving foundations. As I said earlier, even though it is focused on the fundamentals, don't get carried away. This is not super easy by any means. It is still going to be ahead of the US private school core curriculum. And Math Kangaroo, of course, is skewed towards not building good foundations, but applying like previously perfected problem-solving strategy. So Noetic is good for students who are new to the concept of math competitions. Competition math questions are often very different, and it's good for building that foundation. Math Kangaroo is if you've looked at all different kinds of questions and you already have a set of, say, 10, 20 strategies, and you're great at problem solving, now it's just time for application. Noetic, the final 5, there's 20 questions in Noetic. The final 5 are the most difficult. These are weighted towards word problems and logical reasoning questions. When I say logical reasoning questions, of course, this could be from geometry, from numbers and operations, from different lessons. But the essence of this is that logical reasoning questions are those that rely the least on learned knowledge, which means you don't have to learn any theory to solve this question. At the end of the day, it's a puzzle. So these sort of questions, the logical reasoning ones, are the ones that show up towards the end. They're the most difficult ones, and they're often in terms of a visual representation, some sort of diagram, which we will have examples of in the latter part of the presentation. Math Kangaroo, the 5-point questions are weighted towards word problems. Again, Noetic, very celebratory in nature, often is wonderful to boost kids' confidence at an early stage. Math Kangaroo, however, is very competitive in nature. Both are good. Every student is at a different point in their mathematical learning. It's not to say that every kid is, at drastically different ability levels. When we get into Think Academy, what we notice is that for the students who come for an evaluation at grade 2 and grade 3, say the testing results is in a certain distribution, but in grade 4, that distribution has a lot of numbers towards the tail ends. So that means really, in terms of ability per se, or demonstrated ability, the differences show up later. At an elementary stage, early elementary stage, it's really about what level are you in your own journey. So kids are different. You got to treat each kid differently. That's why for some kids, Noetic is better. For some kids, Math Kangaroo is better. If you look at each grade, now this is just to give you guys an example of what kind of chapters, what kind of modules are we dealing with. Grade 3 has been selected as an example, since we have a lot of students from there, other grades as well. But to give you an idea, we have conducted thorough analysis of all the past papers for Noetic. We've also done that previously for Math Kangaroo very successfully. with a significant majority of the Academy students being gold medalists. So we have a very good idea of what to expect in the questions. For Noetic at grade 3, as you can see, word problems and logical reasoning are the majority of the questions. Logical reasoning are most frequently the final 5 most difficult ones. For geometry, it's very basic. Area and perimeter, fundamental properties of squares, rectangles, basic geometry, and symmetry. For numbers and operations, that is the smallest chunk of the questions to be faced. It is the easy questions, and they're very straightforward to score in. And finally, the word problems that make up 50 to 60% of the questions. That is quite a bit. So if you look at word problems in grade 3, that is made up of, say, time problems, multiplication, division, pages, lineup, and age problems. This is in grade 3. When you go to grade 3, 4, 5, you'll also see combinations, a lot more combinatorics. So this depends on the grade, but this is just to give you an idea of the fact that we have a lot of different categories, and we use these categories to basically perfect our prep, shall I say. Because it's predictable in nature, what we do is just we categorize all the different word problems. Each category has 2 to 3 strategies, and if we practice on those, we're pretty much prepared for word problems. Noetic, as I said, because 50 to 60% of the test will be word problems. This is also a great opportunity for students who are lacking in, say, critical reading, right? Who are at a very high level in terms of their basic calculations, operations, but you give them 10 lines and they don't know where to go about it. They don't know what is the most important part, what is inessential. If they end up reading, they forget stuff before, barriers, conversions, your typical critical reading in terms of math comprehension. Noetic is a great opportunity because most of it will be word problems. Let's take an example, a few examples of each module. The calculation module, again, it is a fun competition, so it's not going to be your typical just have a 4-digit number and a 3-digit number and so on. This is an example of grade 3. As you can see, there's a little bit of a puzzle. They ask you to have some sort of pattern recognition, and the only way you solve it in reasonable time is to rely on your fast calculation, your number sense skills. Word problem, the most important one. Each of them will be skewed differently depending on the grade. As I said, grade 3, for example, the one I showed you, is just going to be heavily focused on multiplication division, such as question number 20. But it's going to have certain problems that are very similar to Math Kangaroo as well, such as age problems, time problems. An example for age problems would be, well, Jonathan and Sam are 10 years old. At how many years later will their sum of the ages double or triple? Something like that. There are a lot of different strategies you can use to do that. This is great because it gives you a chance to improve your critical reading, and it is combined with a bunch of different modules, not just one. And usually the more difficult questions come from this as well. This is the most important one, logical reasoning. The overall focus for Noetic is logical reasoning compared to other math competitions. Take that with a little bit of a caveat. Yes, of course, a majority still word problems. Again, what I mean by logical reasoning is that this is what makes Noetic special. This is where the innovation in their questions comes in, right? Let me read just one question out for you. We're not going to solve it, but just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Corey, Frank, Greg, Seth sit at a round table. Corey sits in a chair with number 2. Corey and Frank sit facing each other. Greg sits right of Corey. What is the number on Seth's chair? This is not a difficult question. In Math Kangaroo, say this would be a 3 or a 4-point question, but it does rely on how do you navigate through a puzzle, not just a number puzzle, but a word puzzle, right? Sometimes some of these questions will take a lot of time. That is where the challenge lies, right? Because these sort of questions are not difficult. I would anticipate 99% of the students to get it. It's about how much time you're using for these questions. So this is a good opportunity, as I said, to work on your logical reasoning skills and cut through the fat, shall I say. And there's a lot of practice material that we will go over that will help the students improve, not just for Noetic, but word problems and logical reasoning in general. At Think Academy, we highly recommend, for these reasons, especially if you're at grade 2, grade 3, or grade 4, to definitely sign up for this competition. Another reason would be is that if you are, say, already competing, then you definitely must participate in Noetic, because your competition prep for, say, MK or something else will give you a good basis to ace this competition. If you're at school level, there is nothing in terms of theory that will be tested outside of what you've already learned, with a few exceptions in word problems that, if you're part of our free workshop, you will have access to anyway. So grade 2, grade 3, grade 4 must take part. And the higher grades, you can definitely take part, especially if you're looking at other competitions, because the type of questions are very innovative. How to sign up? At Think Academy, we will be hosting Noetic for the first time, so we are very excited. If you're interested, you can scan the QR code on the top right corner. We are going to be hosting it. Also, I can send a link into the chat right about now. If you find that easier, just a second. Yep, we're going to put the link in the Zoom just in case anyone else wants to use the link instead, or you can scan the QR code. So it is going to be $10 for all the students. Think Academy is not making any money off this. This is just going to be to pay the competition administration, and you can register online. The first one would be to register on Eventbrite. That's step number 1. Step number 2, this is very important because Noetic is slightly different from other competitions. You will have to fill in the Eventbrite registration form. In this, 2 of the fields are very important for you to be eligible to take the test through Think Academy and to attend all of Think Academy's activities. That would be your grade level and your school. So by putting these 2 pieces of information in, we can check for you with your school if your school already has a Noetic team set up. Now, this is important because Noetic doesn't allow students to take part, say, through an external academic institution if the school already has a Noetic team. So if your school has a Noetic team, you will not be eligible to sign up through Think Academy. However, if it is not, then you can. So that is why you need to enter your student's grade level and school so we can check for you. And of course, if we check and see that your school doesn't have a team, then you'll be eligible for that refund for $10. So you can get a refund for the ticket. And for those who want to stay on, can continue to stay on. That is very important. Again, I'll repeat, just so that there's no confusion. If your school has a team, you cannot sign up through Think Academy. So do make sure when you pay for the registration fee to enter the correct grade level and school, so we can check for you and see if you're eligible to participate with us. And of course, like I said, if you have a team, you're eligible for a refund for those $10, so no problem. And step number 3, we're going to have a bunch of activities in stock for you guys. And that being one of our most famous ones, which is our daily prep. We are going to have that on WhatsApp. You can scan this QR code if you want to be admitted to our lobby, as well as the daily prep workshop. This is going to lead to my WhatsApp, and it's my business account. So it's going to ask you a few entrance questions. And once your account's been verified and regarded as not spam, then you'll be able to access all these materials. This workshop, however, will be for grade 2 through grade 4. And because we have so many parents in higher grades, it will be for you guys as well, but the feedback will only be there for grade 2, 3, and 4. So for the expert feedback, we have specialists come on and they will only be there for grade 2, 3, and 4, but the workshop will go on for higher grades as well with solutions. So these are your important dates. Think Academy Noetic registration deadline for you guys is March 17th. So our Eventbrite will be open. You have to sign up. We will check if your school offers it. Then we will follow up with you with your username and password, all that good stuff. The workshop will begin shortly. Tomorrow it will begin as our daily prep. So you'll be able to receive all those materials online on WhatsApp. The mock and live class. This was very much requested for Noetic because we did this with Math Kangaroo. The mock will be the mock test. And after the mock test, we are going to have a live class with experts who have excelled in all kinds of math competitions. And this will be a live class right after the test. The window is from March 1st to April 1st. So the dates haven't been decided yet, but that's going to be the time frame within which we will operate. And Noetic, the first day of the test, it is a window, so you can attend April 7th onwards all the way to April 21st. So April 7th will be your first day. So stage 1, we will have the daily solving challenge, grade 2, all the way through grade 8 this time. Stage 2 will be the mock test. Again, this is online. Think Academy is only offering this online, so your test will be online for grade 2 through grade 4. And the live test class analysis right after the test will be offered as well. All of this is, of course, for all the parents, this time also for higher grade parents. But grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, highly, highly recommend. Those important deadlines are on top of you guys, not on top of you guys, but over here on the slide. And that's about it. Very, very excited to have you guys on board. And if you have any questions, we can answer that right now. The Noetic online registration, Think Academy deadline is on the left. So scan that if you want to register for Noetic. For the WhatsApp group, once you've registered, do make sure to scan my WhatsApp QR code so that I can add you to all the different Noetic resources, the daily solving challenge. And also we have an upcoming webinar with our very own education specialist, Cade. He's right here as well. His webinar will be on the best gifted programs, private schools, specifically in the Bay Area. You can scan that QR code to register. And that is about it for today. Thank you very much, everyone on Zoom as well as Facebook for attending, and I can answer your questions along with Cade. I've opened the chat now, so you guys can text in the chat. Where are you guys from? That would be the Bay Area, but all the students in the Academy are all over the US, East Coast, West Coast, everywhere pretty much. Sure, Brandon. Do we pay for the tickets at the Eventbrite site? Yes. So that would be your registration fee for Noetic. Once you're done with that, then we're good to go. And as I said earlier, we will have to check with your school. So if you do have a team, you'll be eligible for a refund. If you don't, then you're all set. Is there a link for WhatsApp? I'm watching on a phone, so can't scan QR code. Yes, Martin. I can put the link in the chat. Just a second. Yep, we will put that in the chat right now. You can click on the WhatsApp QR code and join in. Grade 1 doesn't have Noetic, unfortunately. No, Sophia, I'm so sorry. It doesn't. But grade 2 onwards, we do have a lot of activities. That being said, grade 1, we do have a bunch of other activities. So if you're on our WhatsApp lobby, you will be notified for all of those things. Sorry, I came late. Will you be able to share this presentation? The recording will be available shortly, so you can view the recording later in the WhatsApp lobby. My biggest concern, especially due to COVID, my students are a bit behind in their math skills. Fear is that they might feel stressed if they score so much lower than others their age. This is valid. And for that, I would say Noetic is the perfect competition because it nurtures everyone. It gives everyone an opportunity to build a sense of confidence. There's a bunch of awards, and the spirit of the competition is not ingrained in competition, and it's not cutthroat. So as an entry-level competition, it's wonderful. It is something I would definitely recommend. So even if you are behind, say, in terms of your math skills, you will have enough material that we will provide so that you will be ready for the test. Are we going to get past question paper after registration? So yes, the past papers will be included in many ways. One, it'll be through the daily challenge. Other ways will be through the mock test. The mock test will be through those sort of questions as well. Can you send a link to the upcoming webinar? Sure. I will send a link to the WhatsApp QR code for which you would need to scan or just answer the entry questions to access the Noetic resources, as well as the link to the next webinar. Other than the $10, is there any other fee to register for mock in class? The $10 is for the official Noetic registration. This is the actual test. This is not a mock. This is for the real test. I've already registered my child for the individual Noetic test. Can we switch to Think Academy? That's a great question. Yes, you may. We will have to work out the specifics with the administrators, but most likely, yes. Please do reach out to me, or I can connect with you on WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever you prefer, so I can hash out those details with you. Can you let me know how to join the WhatsApp group for resources? Yes, we have, Cade has put the link in the chat, so please click the link. Also, you can scan the 2 QR codes. The first 2 QR codes, the important ones for Noetic. The last one is for the next webinar. What would you say difficulties for 7th grade comparing to math counts? It is easier than math counts for grade 7. For Noetic, the good part is going to be combinations for grade 7 and number properties. That's the only difficult part. Thank you as well, Martin. Appreciate it. Are you going to mail the medals to us after the exam? Yes, the medals and awards, all the certificates will be shipped to your physical address. Is it okay to attend Noetic individually? Great question. We are only approaching this test in terms of the individual competition. We are not, as far as Think Academy goes, we are not approaching it as a team. So yes, it is possible to do both, but for Think Academy, we're only going to be doing individual. Because technically speaking, if you look at the way the team works as well, it's like, it's not really a team because everyone gives a test individually and then you have a team score. So it's an individual test. Yes, the team is just like a gimmick. It's not really a team test. So that's why we didn't even want to mention that. Registration is only for the resources. No, the registration on the left side, that is for the real Noetic registration. Then once you're registered, you can scan this QR code in the middle if you want free resources for Noetic. But the first one is just for the actual registration. When do you plan on notifying students for the results? What kind of awards are available? The awards available are as follows. You have participation for 50%. You have the National Honor Roll for the top 10%. And you also have certificates. So a bunch of awards, and you will get those awards shortly after you do the test. Will there be any mock test? Yes, there will be a mock test. Let me go back to that slide. So we are going to have an online mock test for grades 2 through 4. Can she join grade 2? Helen, of course. Yes. How to connect with you to do the switch? You can scan the QR code in the end. That is my WhatsApp QR code. And you can connect with me that way. Or you can also attend our Facebook group and get connected with either me or Kate, and we can help you out. Do you make teams or send the Think Academy will be the same team? This will be an individual test. Yes, signing the QR code does not take you to the WhatsApp group. Scanning the QR code, sorry, takes you to my WhatsApp account. For new members, that is the primary way we can verify for spam. And then I will personally add you to the Noetic Prep group. If you're not in the Noetic Prep group right now, don't worry. I will add everyone to it. We haven't created it yet. We just want to make sure all the members first have a chance to join in, and then we can start adding everyone. But is there an award for team topper? Yes, there is. There's an award for individual as well as team. can we log into the contest link anytime during the test window from our own computers? Because there's a spring break. Yes. So for online real test for Noetic on April 7th, you will be basically given some login credentials, which Think Academy will email to you. If you're not going through Think Academy, that's okay as well. Someone will reach out to you with your login and password. You will use that to log into Noetic directly, and then you will have the test paper available to you at that time. Any other questions? Also, for those who are staying on, I really appreciate it, but feel free to leave if you have no questions. That's okay at all. If you do have any other questions later, you can let me know on WhatsApp, or you can let Kate know as well on Facebook. We have a Facebook group for all the parents. You can put that in there. Is the difficulty level similar to the same grade of Math Kangaroo? No, generally speaking, the difficulty level will be around the 4-point questions, and there will be certain modules that are more difficult, such as for grades 2, 3, and 4. Number operations and theory will be more difficult, but generally speaking, it is easier. That being said, it is still going to be more ahead of private schools' core curriculum. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. All right. With this, let's bring it close to the presentation. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp or Facebook as well. I will answer the last few questions there are. No worries. Would there be a review class for mock classes for 7th grade? Yes. So for mock classes for 7th grade, apologies. For 7th grade, there is not going to be a analysis or live class. However, for grades 4 and above, 5, 6, 7, 8, we are going to have the daily challenge resources. So you're going to have a bunch of questions from here that come directly from the past paper questions. So you're going to have a bunch of free practice available to you, but the live test class analysis is exclusively for grades 2, 3, and grade 4. Thank you so much. All right, then. With this, we'll bring it to a close. Thank you guys so much for attending. And if you have any other questions, feel free to let us know.